Hi, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to share with you how to get your driving license as a foreigner in South Africa. So you have to know that to get your driving license, I just got mine. You need the procedure is divided into two steps. So there is the learners, and which is the theoretical part, and then there is the practical part, which is like the driving test proper. So the learners is just to test if you know the various rules and regulations governing the road and how to operate engines on the road. And then the second part, which is the driving proper, is like the practical. Can you operate an engine on the road respecting all these rules that you already know and everything. So as a foreigner, if you are trying to book for your learners, there are some documents that you need. You need your foreign ID, you need your passport, you need a proof of residence. What you can do to get your proof of residence, you can go to the police station and with your lease agreement and maybe a payment that you did, a receipt of a payment that you did, and then they're going to come up with a proof of a proof of residence for you, certified. And then you also need two headshots of yourself, and like two recent headshots of yourself, and you also need to go with 68 rands. So this is what you're going to pay. So yeah, so once you have all this, you now you book for your learners. And the learners, they'll give you a date when you come for the exam. You can prepare your learners in 2 weeks. There is an app that you can use. It is called K53. You can see it. You can download it on the App Store or even what do you call it? Play Store. I think so. Yeah. So you can download it whether you have an Android or an iOS device. So you download the apps and you answer all the questions. They are very straightforward questions. Some of them can be tricky, but you need to know all these questions because those are the same questions that will come. So you can prepare your exam in 2 weeks. You just need to read all those questions, answer all of them, and then you're good to go. So once you write your learners, if you study, you're going to pass. It's really cheap. Once you pass, they're going to give you your learners license, and with these learners, you can now start taking practical lessons or practical courses on how to drive. And you can prepare yourself in 2 months or 3 months, depending on you and how you learn. So yeah, if once you prepare, so you can book session with any driving school, and I would prefer that you book with a driving school because they have the experience on what is required from you. Even if you know how to drive, I would advise you to book a session or sessions with a driving school, and you can book like 30 hours to really get the mastery of the car, to master how to do all the observation, because the K53 has a lot of observation. Your head is always turning. You always have to be observing things, always like it's hectic, and you really need to practice this thing to get used to. So I would advise you to book like 30 hours lessons with a driving school, or if you have men, you can even book 60 hours, and by the time you're done, you are sure that you know. Don't try to book for a few hours and then go and take the exam, because you fail and you spend again more money, because usually what they do is you have to hire the car, you have to pay the lessons and everything, and it really becomes really hectic. So once you have your learners, you now go for your practical lessons. You book with whoever you want to book with, and then you learn all the practical part. There is the yard, and then there's the road. Usually I would advise you to take to know where you want to take your test, and then you take somebody who knows that the route they usually use, so that you guys can practice on that road to make you used to the path that you're going to take on the day of the exam. So once you feel like you are ready, you go and book now for the driving test. To book for the driving test, you still go with your learners, and then you go with your foreign ID and your passport, and the two headshots of yourself. And I think you also go with something like 135 or 100 or 200 rands. So in between the two, you go with that sum of money so to get registered. So once you get registered, they're going to give you the date when you're going to come, and they'll give you something like this. So it's going to tell you the day when you're coming for your exam, and also what you need to bring on the day of the exam. So they'll give you that. You have that. now you go continue practicing, and then the day of the exam you go. You really have to respect the time. Like if they ask you to come 15 minutes before, come 15 minutes before. Is really going to be helpful. And the day of the exam, as I said, there's the yard that they'll take you into a yard, and then you practice all the parking, the various parking, and all the turns and the emergency stop and all the rest. So you practice all those things in the yard on the day of the exam, and then they will take you to the road. If you make it, if you pass the yard, they will take you to the road, and you do the route that they ask you to do. And at the end of the day, if you are successful, they're going to give you a document like this, testifying that you are done, that you passed the exam. And I think you have to pay something like 140 rands, if I'm not mistaken, for them to give you this. So yeah, and then they'll ask you to come. They'll send you a message like 3 weeks after, 3 to 6 weeks after, for you to come and collect your license. So that is it. So some of the tips to help you during the exam day is that for the driving, because as I told you, the learners is really cheap. You just need to read and you pass. But for the driving, that is where the problem is, because usually it's a practical exam, and if you can be tense, which is normal because it's a road and everything. So you really need to practice a lot. That's why I'm asking you to book like for at least 30 to 60 hours of lessons. Is going to help you to get used to the car, and to understand whatever you have to do, all the observations, all those things. So there are a lot of videos online on how to practice and everything. I'm not going to get into all that. You can watch those videos. But what you need to know is you really need to be calm. You need to be composed. You should not panic. Don't focus on the examiner, because some examiners are really bad people, and they will try to stress you up. And yeah, so don't think about any other thing. Focus on the road. You're on the road. Don't try to control people around you. Focus on your car. You have your car, you're on the road. Focus on that. Do what you have to do what you know how to do, and you'll be fine. So if maybe you notice that in the yard maybe you are trying, there's something that you are doing wrong, stop and ask if you can repeat again. But do not hit, because if you hit any pole or any surface or whatever, it's a direct fail. They will not give you a second chance. Once you hit something, it's a failure, and then you have to go again and book again for another test. That is it. So really take your time during the yard test to do things very well, very slowly. Go with your car very slowly. Don't be in a haste. If you are trying to do alley docking, do it very slowly. If you're trying to do parallel parking, do it very slowly. Do the things very slowly. All the observation, the checks and everything, take your time. They are there for you. So take your time, but not too much, because also you have something like 20 minutes to do all those things. So but take your time, really be calm, take your time, and do all your observations and do your things very well, and you pass. So that is it, maybe for the tips that I can give. And yeah, on the road, do all your observations, even in the yard, because some people usually fail in the yard. After doing all this parking and everything, they are happy. There's the emergency stop. Once they want to leave, they usually stop sign maybe somewhere that they will miss, and then that's how you fail. So really practice everything and be alert, be there, be present. Don't be in your mind. Don't be thinking about any other thing. Be in your, if maybe you're having a problem with your boyfriend or your girlfriend, don't think about it. If she's not eating in the morning, try to eat in the morning before going for the test, please, because it's very important. So be present, and you're going to make it. So I think those are some few tips that I could give you, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If maybe you have a question that you would like to know, don't hesitate to drop it as a comment. And if you enjoyed the video, you can like it, you can subscribe to the channel, and you can share with people that you think might need. And in the meantime, you can buy me a car for me to start driving. So see you next time. Bye.